All right, everybody, we got 7 minutes on the clock, and I'm here with my friend Jay from the great state of Texas to talk about the business of oil and gas, the deals behind oil and gas. Jay, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you told me an interesting stat. 90% of people who invest in oil and gas lose all of their money, lose all of it. Why don't you walk us through some of the things you guys have been doing it for 4 generations? Why don't you walk us through some of the things that you've learned over the years?
Yeah. Josh, and that's great. And I appreciate that. And you're exactly right. I mean, it's like 90% of the people that invest in oil and gas lose money. Why? Because three reasons why people lose money. How to lose money. Number one, buy it from some guy with a telephone. Don't and buy from somebody you like on the telephone. That's we used to, and I've done this, and that's what we changed our model in 2015, which I'll share with you in just a minute. But in doing deals the old-fashioned way, the traditional way is you find a well up here, let's say on the board, you find a well and you go, hey, this well is this well is going to produce 300,000 barrels, has the potential to invest 300,000, produce 300,000 barrels of oil. It's going to cost us $2 million to drill it. Well, that's number one, is it costs them money to find capital. So what they do is they put 20%, 30%, even as high as 50% on top. So if they're raising $2 million to drill a well, they may charge you $4 million. They may charge you $4 million. Let me break it down and go, okay, we need 20 units at $200,000, and they go out and they raise the money. It takes them a month. They charge so much money they can pay salespeople to work around the clock raising capital, and then what that does, it makes you pay back that $4 million investment on a two million. It costs $2 million. You have to pay back $4 million. So it's like, unless that $2 million turns into $5-6 million, you're not going to get your money back. And that's just the way that promoted deals work. So buying a deal on the phone with somebody you seem to like, you don't trust them because you don't know them, but they talk you into the tax benefits. Don't invest for tax benefits. Okay, yeah. I said three things. Don't invest for tax benefits only, number one. Don't invest with somebody on the phone without checking them out and finding out that they are a real deal, right? And number three, be very leery, because the deal that hopefully they have a deal. Some people don't even own a lease. They don't even own the acreage that they claim that they say. They go, oh yeah, well, we're going to drill a well here, and they don't really own it, or they'll never drill it, or there's a lot of scams out there. So buyer beware, because there's a lot of great salespeople. Some of the best salespeople I've ever heard, sell deals over the telephone, and they're really good, but they never pay back capital to their investors because they rarely drill the wells, or if they do drill the wells, maybe good wells. And I'll tell you this too: promoters don't come out and say, hey, you know what? This is going to be a great deal. They believe it. They really believe it, but it's really the system or the strategy or the way they put the deal together. It's like, yeah, it's $2 million and we'll get 100% of the revenue. We'll send out, one company I know that I worked for a long time ago, they took a lot of the royalty out of it. So they took 10% of the royalty off the top before they even paid their investors. Another way that this just, these guys get in business, they want you to make money because they want you to come back on the next deal, the next deal, the next deal.
Right.
But they have to promote their deal out enough to where they can pay all their people, they can make a great living, and they make their great living on the promote, not on the oil and gas revenue.
That's interesting. So they're making the money whether that thing spits black gold or not, right? Because they're making money on that side of it. So you said something that was super interesting in terms of like looking at the deal. What are three things as you're on the phone with someone and they're trying to pitch you oil and gas? You say, do you have the land lease locked up? Do you even have that? Like, that's maybe one question that you could ask. What are two more questions you can ask that person on the phone to see, are they the real deal or they're just hoping to strike.
How's your deal structured? How's your deal structured? Big, huge question. How's your deal structured? It's like, is it how much promote is it? Are you paying commissions? If so, how much? How much is overhead? What's going in the ground? One of the best questions you could ask. How much of this, if you're going to raise $4 million on this package of this one well that you're going to drill, so and so, how much is going in the ground? And they may say all of it. Well, they're BSing. I mean, they got to pay the salespeople, they got to pay G&A, they got to,
Yeah.
So that's really the wrong question. But our deals are thin. Our deals are very, very thin because I know that, and I want people to make money and come back, and we raise a large amount of money, but we don't raise the little bitty one well deals. Our deal is structured differently, and we can go into that later on. But how much money is going in the ground? How much money are you guys making?
And here's the thing, as a person investing with a group of people, as a limited partner investing into something, or an MLP into something, right? I want those GPs to make money, and I want them to make a ton of it because I want them to make me a ton of money. So like we're aligned in you said this earlier, aligned in vision, right? Like that's the way it should be. But let's do this. You wrote a book. You've been doing it. You and your family have been doing it for 4 generations. You've got tons of people in your family doing it. You wrote a book. Can you show us the book and tell us where we could go to connect with you and maybe get one of your books?
Yeah, I wrote a book called The Upside of Oil and Gas Investing, and Forbes is my publisher down here. Forbes is a great people. They're on my podcast and all this. But Upside of Oil and Gas Investing, if you want to learn more and find out exactly, in the back cover is David Moore back here, Night Vest. He's an apartment guy, and I asked him on a chairlift in 2015. The story's in the book.
Where can people go to find your book, Jay? We're out of time, buddy.
Hey, here you go. Upside, go to Apple, go to anywhere, kingoperating.com. Go there, find out more about the book anytime.
Cool. Hey, and fellow deal makers in the audience, I hope you're enjoying these fun 7-minute series. It's so hard to stay within the 7 minutes, but as always, if you want to know more, reach out to our guests, say thanks for being on the show, find their books. I think Jay's given away a handful of them for the first couple people that come through, and all of their contact information will be in the show notes below. So as always, reach out to our guests and say thank you. And if you have a deal that you'd like to talk about here on the show, thedealscout.com, fill out a quick form, get you on the show next. Till then, talk to you all on the next episode. Bye, everybody.